Good morning, this is Chief Meteorologist Damon Lane in the KOCO Weather Center giving you an afternoon update that we're going to have today for our severe weather threat coming in here. Now, as we've been saying all week long, we do have a risk for severe weather. This will be a slight risk for severe weather in the Oklahoma City metro, and for anyone here shaded in yellow across Oklahoma, which does include Enid, Ponca City, Stillwater, and down to Lawton and Altus. Now, the better dynamics with this system will be in Iowa, where we have a moderate risk for severe weather, and even moving into southern parts of Minnesota. Now, this will be the HER model, a high-resolution model that a lot of meteorologists, including myself, tend to look at when it comes to severe weather and looking at what's going to happen in the short term. This shows us at about 6 o'clock this afternoon some severe storms beginning to go up. You can see from Custer, Dewey County, and in the Fairview, just in towards around Major County, and then a few up in toward Kansas. These storms will have a hail and a wind risk with them. There will be a tornado risk. It will be very, very low, and that window for opportunity in which we'll have a tornado threat, and again, a very low tornado threat, will be during this time frame. We'll talk about that in just a little bit here. Now, this will show that there's a cold front. That's where you have those winds coming in from the north. That's coming into northwestern Oklahoma. And again, this will be for 7 o'clock this evening. And then a dry line in western Oklahoma. And again, we live in a very interesting part of America and in the world where we happen to get this dry line coming in off of the Gulf of Mexico. Moisture coming in from the Gulf, and then you have some desert dry air coming in from the southwest. Now, as we advance the time frame here, this will be at 7 o'clock here. And again, we still continue to see some storms out there. Storms are likely going to be in towards around Watauga County, just around Watauga, Blaine County, I should be saying, and now just west of Enid, western parts of Garfield County, and into northern Oklahoma, and again stretching into Kansas. Now, some of these, once again, will have a severe weather threat with hail and wind, but we will be quickly losing the tornado risk as we go later into the evening around 9 and 10. This is going to be the 9 and 10 o'clock projected radar image that we have here. And again, you can see here the storms become a little bit more widespread, but we begin to lose some of that instability. So the storm coverage increases as that cold front meets up with the dry line. But then we start to lose the overall severe weather risk. And then you can see a couple isolated storms down in southwestern Oklahoma here. Notice how the Oklahoma City metro at this time frame, so about 9 and 10 o'clock, still is looking fairly dry, but we have these storms just out to the west and up to the north. High school football games, you want to certainly pay attention as these storms move right on through. Now, this is going to be a product here that I look at, and a lot of people look at, as far as trying to figure out the tornado potential. Now, this takes into account the amount of shear and the amount of energy that you have available to work with. When you start seeing this green shading, this would indicate a very, and I mean a very low tornado risk, but certainly a non-existent tornado risk. So this would be at about 7 o'clock this evening, right before sunset. And again, this would be the area in green where we would have a very, very low tornado risk if storms can happen to develop. Now, let's go ahead and advance the slide here, and this is something that even though you have a low tornado risk, you certainly need to look at other factors, and this shows the base of the clouds. And even though we had that green shading, which would indicate a low tornado risk, notice how high the cloud bases are here. When you get your cloud bases here anywhere between 1,000 to 2,000 meters above the ground, that's pretty high and very difficult for a tornado to be produced out of that. You want to see your cloud bases much, much lower. And once again, you can see that we're not really seeing that in towards the state here, which is why I am not really all that concerned about there being a tornado risk. And again, we're more so going to be looking at a hail and a wind risk with these storms coming in. And then as we advance the time frame here, this will be midnight. Cold fronts now coming into the metro, and we'll be getting some storms around then. So all in all, hail and a wind producer across the state for this evening. The better dynamics with the storm system, as you can see here, well up to the north, and again, it looks like Iowa, southern Minnesota will be the area that has the best chance for seeing widespread severe weather. So we'll watch it throughout the daytime, and again, we'll be giving you the latest information throughout the afternoon on Twitter, on Facebook, on KOCO.com, and of course on KOCO 5 News at 5, 6, and 10.